Hey guys, so we've made it to Sector 5. I've got everything done for you. I feel like I've said this in almost every sector of this conquest, but this is probably one of the easier sectors to get through, which is crazy when you think about the Inquisitor feats. But we can break it down, and it's actually really easy to get your way through. I think the hardest thing was honestly the boss at the end. And even then, like if you have the right discs, you're going to be set and good to go. So I'll break it down. I'm going to show you what I used and what teams I think are great. And then I'm going to come back at the end because this sector actually completely made me reevaluate my plan for Conquest to get Darth Malgus. So for the next two, I'm going to be changing my plan when I finish the rest of my Conquest feats the rest of the way. And I want to explain why I'm thinking I'm going to change it in order to just be more efficient and make it feel less grindy. So we'll go over that at the end, but first we'll have a look at everything that I'm using. All right, so as usual, we've got Sector 5 here and the feat breakdown. It looks a little bit scarier than it actually is. So each feat here is worth 15 points. So I don't recommend skipping any of them, especially once you realize how straightforward they can be. So the first one is that you're going to need to defeat 50 enemies with Empire units. Again, super straightforward. You don't need to win for this, but with the next one, win 14 battles with a full squad of Inquisitorius units. You do need to win for, and they are also empires, so you can do these at the same time, which is amazing when you're going through the sector and playing through. The next one is gaining defense up 40 times. This is a no-brainer feat. Every time I see this feat in Conquest, it is a one and done. Literally, you can do this feat in one battle, and it does not matter what data discs you have, and I'm going to show you how you do that, and it's absolutely amazing. And then the last one is attempting to inflict armor shred 20 times. Again, super straightforward. There are a few characters that will do it, and you can get this done as you're playing through the sector. Okay, guys, so the first one I'm going to show you is gaining defense up 40 times. So I'm going against a First Order team, which is perfect because we'll get to time out. Like I said, you don't need to win. You're going to take Clone Wars Chewbacca lead. Yes, this is the easiest way to do this feat. And then you're going to take 4 tanks with him. I personally like to take 5's crew, Kenobi, and Malik. Those are the 4 that I've always taken when I've done this feat, and it always works perfectly. So Clone Wars Chewbacca lead gives defense up when your allies are hit. And since you've got tanks, they're going to be getting hit, and they're going to be getting defense up all over the place. Again, does not matter if you lose, does not matter if you time out, doesn't matter if you win. You're going to get this done in one shot. So I've just sped it up for you, and purposely, I mean, maybe not purposely, but crew is alive at the end here. And this is why this is such a good node to do this feat on, because crew is just so difficult to chew through, especially with this team. There's no synergy here. And he's just going to keep hitting you, and you're going to keep getting defense up, and you're going to either lose or time out. I'm pretty sure he does kill us at the end, if I remember correctly. But you can see the defense up is just proccing repeatedly on the tanks. And it doesn't stop even with Clone Wars Chewie dying, so you don't need to worry about that once he dies. And once it's done, you'll have 40 defense up complete in one battle, so you don't need to farm this feat at all. It's done. All right, and a super straightforward team here. This is something that I use repeatedly to get armor shred is Gas, obviously, because he has it on his first special, his second ability. So I personally focus on making my way through Sector 5 and making my way through those nodes versus trying to get as many armor shreds as possible in a battle, or however many things in a battle. And this is just one of those teams that works really well to make my way through Sector 5, because obviously Sector 5 is a lot more difficult with relegate teams. And what we're going to see, and what I'm going to suggest, is if you are doing the Inquisitorius feat, you don't really need to farm your Empire kills because they're going to do it for you. So normally I would suggest using Empire teams to make your way through so you can get those kills at the same time. But instead, I'm going to use characters that are going to be getting armor shred. So if you do want to focus, though, on getting Empire kills, you can obviously bring in Vader, Palpatine, all of those great people, Thrawn. You can also bring in your troopers. It doesn't necessarily go super well, at least for me, but you are going to be able to get some kills with them. You can also put Gideon on your trooper team if you wanted to get some more armor shred at the same time. My Gideon is just not geared enough to actually, be able to do any armor shred, so he gets to stay on the bench. But in the meantime, at least with the troopers here, even with losing Veers, we're able to get a few kills in, and that way that can go towards our Empire feat here. But like I said, I'm probably going to skip using Empire teams through the rest of the sector now that I've realized how easy the Inquisitorius feat is. And I will just be using my stronger teams to 3-star the nodes and work on armor shred the rest of the way through, because I think that's going to be the more efficient play, so that I don't have to go back and clean up nodes that I'm leaving 2-starred like this one. Okay, and another armor shred team that's probably a no-brainer would be to take JMK and Kat, because obviously after Kat does her initial Force Leap, she's going to be she's going to be putting armor shred with that ability out there instead. So that's another great way to cheese this. You could also add gas back to this team so that you have 2 characters doing it. You could add armor, so you get another character doing armor shred. There are a ton of different things that you could do to really just ramp up how many you're getting. And you don't even need to use Kenobi, to be honest with you. If you only have Jedi Master Luke, you could do that with Jedi and armor, just to really get some armor shred going. Okay, so I know not everyone will have this team because it has Cam on it, but this is another way that you're going to be getting armor shred out there, is using Cam with gas underneath the Jedi Master Luke lead, or underneath the Kenobi lead. They're all Galactic Republic, so it doesn't really matter. But Cam has armor shred on his special, and gas obviously has it on his. So between the two of them, you'll be able to get a few out there, assuming you don't kill your enemies too quickly. So this will be another helpful way to get it out there. You could also add Sabine, and Zalbar has it as well. So any of those characters will get it done for you. All right, guys, so we have the mini boss here. So you need to win with T3 M4 surviving, and you also need to win without any Empire in your squad. You're going to be able to do both in one feat, or in one battle, sorry. So you're going to take my favorite, Bam lead with Han and Chewie, and then you're going to take T3, who you can see is Gear 9. And I decided to take another Scoundrel because that's going to feed the Turn Meter train some more by having more Scoundrels here doing damage. And I thought maybe I wanted a tank, but I figured I would actually prefer Boba. So again, very standard. You want the Voluntary Accelerator Disc and Amplify Agony here to get the Turn Meter train rolling. And I figured I would just shoot HK first, and then he died. And then, as you can see, the Turn Meter train is rolling. So every time my Scoundrels are doing damage, they're just gaining full Turn Meter again, that the enemy never takes a turn, and T3 just gets to tag along for the ride, and you get both done in one battle because there are no Empire on your squad as well. And then just for posterity's sake, I want to show you the discs I did have equipped when I did this. So 3 Amplify Agony, a Volatile Accelerator, and then I did just put a Perseverance on for extra dots. All right, so I'm going to go back into the mini boss here. I've already obviously completed both feats, but I did hear that you could beat this boss with a full Inquisitor squad. So I thought I would try it. I'm using the exact same disc loadout that I just showed you. So Volatile Accelerator, 3 Amplify Agony, and a Perseverance disc. And I wasn't too sure which leadership would work best here with the Inquisitorius, so I'm just kind of cycling through and having a look at them. But I had heard various reports that, some people use Second Sister, some people use Ninth Sister, and honestly, everyone was telling me that it didn't really make a difference. And there's obviously no Jedi on this team, it's just HK and a couple of droids, so there really, in my opinion, wasn't a benefit to specific leaderships that targeted Jedi, so I decided to go with Second Sister. I figured it would be the better option because she does gain, or she hands out higher offense, and I want to be able to beat them. So obviously, we're not trying to do a turn meter train thing here because we're not taking BAM, but I was curious if this would work. And you can see HK takes a turn, and then Fifth Brother just counterattacks and kills him, which is hilarious because he's gear 8. And this is where I'm finding that the Perseverance disc is coming in handy, because they're taking turns and then they are calling assists from their other allies. So it's pretty straightforward, and they're even better. They're landing most of the kills. Only a couple of them died to dots, so I'm also getting Empire kills as well. And you can see 3-starred it. No real danger there at all. And again, the exact same discs as before. Okay, guys, so I've changed my discs because we're going to the boss. So I've got Amplify Agony, Caustic Emissions, Thermal Exhaust, another Amplify Agony, Ability Exhaust, and Volatile Accelerator. The thermals and the Ability Exhaust I found were pretty key here. So you need to win with Palpatine and Talon surviving on your team, and you also need to do that Hokey religion feat again, which is what we're going to do first. So this is the one where you don't want to have Jedi, Sith, or unaligned Force users. I did try it with Bam, Han, and Chewie. It does not work. It's just not a good thing. So I figured I would try Bounty Hunters instead. I was going to try Grievous next if this didn't work, but this seemed to be okay. So my thought here was I wanted the caustic emissions and I wanted the thermals because I essentially just wanted them to debuff themselves so much and gain so many thermals that they would just die off. And I just wanted to survive, and hopefully they would pop themselves off, as you can see, before I died. So pretty straightforward. They essentially just, end up dying to all of those detonators exploding, which is fantastic. And then at the end here, it's just down to Malgus, which is great in my opinion, because I didn't want to kill him first and give bonus mastery or bonus stats to the rest of the team. So it was great that we got to kill him at the end, and he just died to the Annihilate. So we got the first feat done, no problems there. And then we will go do the Palpatine feat. So I kept the exact same discs equipped. So the Caustic Emissions is still on, thermals are still on. And I figured I would take in Palpatine lead, obviously, and then you need Talon. I did want Vader to get some more dots out there and more ability block. I wanted Sith Empire Trooper so I could have a tank, and then I didn't know if I wanted Malik or Traya. And I had tried it with Malik with a different disc set, and I didn't really like how it worked, so I figured I would try it with Traya, even though she's gear 12, and she's probably maybe going to eat it here. But again, so the same idea. I just wanted to cause so many debuffs and survive long enough, and also make sure that Talon and Palpatine survived, because that's the key. So I did choose to enter Merciless Massacre, of course. I was going to force choke on anyone other than Darth Revan so that I could hopefully just saber toss him in one shot and then get the ability block out there on as many people as possible. Force choke again. This is the great thing, is you're feeding just so much turn meter to yourself because of the debuffs that you're able to just kind of keep chugging along. And then obviously Malgus taunting is the biggest annoyance, but we can go back into Merciless Massacre and keep going, which is fantastic. And Malgus is probably the hardest thing to chew through here. He's just kind of doesn't stop. And you can see he's got over 100 thermal detonators on him, and they are not, they haven't popped yet. So I'm hoping, again, that he will just be stuck on Sith Empire Trooper. This is where the ability exhaust comes in really handy to have as a disc here, because he can't do anything but his basic. So he can basic on Sith Empire Trooper, and that's it, which is going to help keep Palpatine and Talon alive. So you can see we're still just waiting on all of these thermals to pop. We're close to 250 now. And eventually they will just explode and you will get the win. Obviously, it's not the cleanest. I did not 3-star it. I'm sure if I had swapped mods on my Treya, I maybe would have, or if I cared enough to get her to gear 13. But I don't. So she died. And anytime. All right. So that is it. So you really want to look for a thermals disc. I usually don't pick them up because I don't like them stealing my kills, but honestly, the thermal disc here was really helpful, really helpful. And now we have this bonus node. So this used to be a data disc, and they've given it to us as a node that we're allowed to play, and we will get Darth Malgus as a summon. So I decided to try something fun. I have the exact same discs equipped, so we've got thermals and all that fun stuff. But I was going to take my Inquisitorius members back in here. So I did the exact same leadership. I'm going to get Darth Malgus on my team with them. Yeah, we'll be able to just go against this Padme squad and hopefully win. The great thing is, because Malgus is here, even if your Inquisitors die and Malgus were to solo it, you would still get it as a Inquisitor win. And it's even better if they land some kills that will get Empire kills as well. But because I've got those thermals equipped still, they are just kind of stealing them. But you can see it's not even remotely uncomfortable. These are so easy. So that's 2 Inquisitor kills right away. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, guys, so that's it. That is Sector 5, and we are officially through all of the sectors of Conquest for Conquest 16, and all of the feats have been completed or on their way to being finished, but we've got a good plan in place. So hopefully you found this helpful, and hopefully you can see that it's not as bad as we all thought it was going to be. I know we were all scared when we saw Inquisitor feats, so it's really such a big relief that we can see that 3-star characters can get it done as low as gear. I've seen gear 2 characters do it, to be honest with you. But I think gear 8 is kind of the sweet spot of where you want to be. So I am going to be changing up my plan because I know now that I'm capable of doing the Inquisitor wins in Sector 5, and that's worth 15 keycards. I would rather do 14 battles in Sector 5 of repeating the same thing over and over again. That's also going to help me get Empire kills that I need to do anyway in Sector 5. Since Inquisitors are Empire, I can easily double dip there. And then I can drop one of the 40 battles from the global sector. So I'm probably going to drop the Old Republic feat just because I like to have the wiggle room with the Sith Empire and maybe get kills there. And then if Dread is fixed in the future, we'll be good to go with that feat. But honestly, now that we know we can do these feats, you could theoretically drop 2. Theoretically, I mean, depending on how many feats you're actually going to finish, you could theoretically drop 2 of the global feats. So if you really wanted to, you could drop the Old Republic and the Sith Empire, because that's 30 points and we have 37 of wiggle room. So you could drop that and make it significantly less grindy. So I'm not going to drop both of them, but I am going to drop one of them, and it's going to make life much easier. I hope you found all of this helpful, and I hope you see that it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. This is what makes Conquest fun, is figuring out the puzzle, and this is what makes it so interesting. We can see 3-star characters pulling off feats, and we don't need to panic. All right, guys, I will see you next time.